have been quite a welfare office.
So it was. Everyone had a poignant story. They were all making a play of their own accord.
No outline, no notes.
This isn't a thriller, Sidney. It's not dependent on intricate plotting and contrived theatrics. No, these are real people. All I'm doing is letting them spill out their dreams and frustrations, their anger at the bureaucracy.
Joe Papp will have a messenger at the door any minute.
I was thinking of him as a possible producer. Do you know him?
Slightly. Let me see a few pages.
Oh, I'm sure if you'd like to, but I'd rather wait until the draft is done. Give it to you in one glorious bundle. Do you mind?
No, of course not. What's another hour or two?
No, we'll probably take 3 or 4 weeks at least.
At the rate you're going, you'll have a trilogy by then.
Nothing doing?
I'm thinking.
Why don't you invite her over? Tendor. I mean, talking with her might spark something.
Do you think we should risk having her on the premises?
Maybe not when the moon is full, but any other time, why not? Did you see that egg that she laid on the Griffin show?
Oh, well, that's because she got rattled when the amazing Kreskin started describing all her husbands in such detail.
Oh, a Belle Forrester called before you came in asking if she could bring over a casserole or sew a button or something.
No, no, no. We don't want to break the flow. Oh, Porter, come on in.
How are you, Sidney?
Well, I'm doing fairly well.
There's a couple of things I want to talk to you. Am I disturbing you?
No, no, not at all. I'm glad of the chance to take a break. How come you're not in the city?
I happen to be in New Haven this afternoon. The secretary?
Yes.
My, what a fast typist.
Yes. Oh, come meet him. Clifford. This is Clifford Anderson. This is my friend, Porter Milgram.
How do you do?
How do you do, sir?
I would say my attorney, but then he would bill me.
Oh. I'm going to anyway. This is a business call. Partly, at least.
Clifford was at the seminar that I conducted this past summer, and he asked me about a secretarial position at the time. And then when Myra passed away, I thought that maybe I would need someone to lend a hand around here. So I called Clifford, and next day, here he was.
Have typewriter, will travel.
That was very good of you.
It's a privilege to be of use to someone like Mr. Gruel.
Would you look at that? Isn't this a beauty?
Yes, yes, it's a partner's desk.
Where did you find it?
I found it in Wilton just about a week ago. It beats cluttering up the room with 2 singles, don't you think?
Cost a pretty penny, I'll bet.
Well, it is deductible.
Yes. They can't very well quibble about a writer's desk, can they? Wait until Elizabeth sees this.
How is she?
Fine.
And the girls?
Oh, couldn't be better. Kathy loves Vassar.
And Vassar versa, I'm sure. Sit down.
Would you like me to go get the groceries now? So you and Mr. Milgram can talk in private.
Would you mind?
I have to do it sometime before dinner.
All right. I'll be with you in a second, Porter.
Take your time. I haven't started the clock yet. I love this room.
Oh, it's so nice, isn't it? It's a privilege working here.
He's looking well.
Oh, yes, he's picked up quite a bit in the past few days. The first week was very rough. He was crying every night. I could hear him plainly, and he was drinking quite heavily.
Oh.
But he'll pull through. His work is a great solace to him.
I'm sure it must be. I've often envied my writer clients on that account. I tried to play once.
Oh.
About the Supreme Court justice I most admire, but even the title was a problem. Frankfurter.
Is 20 enough?
Oh, that's way too much. All we need is salad things and milk. I'm going to Gibson's.
Oh, pick up some yogurt, would you? Anything but prune.
Okay. Oh, did you park in the driveway?
No, I pulled over on the side.
Well, see you later, or nice to meet you, whichever it happens to be.
I'm sure we'll be seeing each other again. Pleasant young fellow. Good looking, too.
Do you think he's gay? Homosexual?
I know what gay means. Elizabeth told me long ago, and no, he didn't strike me that way.
Well, I have a sneaking suspicion that he might be, but as long as he does his work well, I guess it's really none of my business.
Well, in essence, he's a domestic employee, and I think that in such circumstances, his sexual preference could be a legitimate matter of concern.
I wasn't asking for a legal opinion, I was just saying that it's not really any of my business.
Well, in that case, no, it isn't.
No. Besides, people would talk if I took in a female secretary, wouldn't they?
If she were under 80.
That's what I thought, so I called Clifford.
It's good to see you looking so well. That's the main reason I've come. I was delegated by Elizabeth and the Westons and the Harveys. That young man has been discouraging all callers, and we were afraid that you might be in worse shape than he was letting on, but obviously that's not the case.
Well, I'm not in the mood for socializing yet, but I'm pulling through. My work is a great solace to me.
What are you on to now?
It's a play about ESP. Helga Tendorf is over in the McVeigh cottage, you know.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Tell me, is it true what everyone is saying? Do you mind talking about this?
Oh, no, not at all. Go ahead.
Did she actually point to the spot on the floor where Myra was going to fall?
No, nothing like that, no. All she did was she came in and she said, there's great pain in this lady's chest, and Myra said, well, there's slight pain. And she said, well, with your history, you should go see the doctor, which is what I've been telling Myra for days.
It's uncanny that people can sense things like that. I would think that you could write a very fine thriller on the subject.
Yes, it's coming along. Oh, business time.
Yes. Now, the first item on the agenda is your will. Now that Myra's gone, you ought to look it over. As it stands, if anything should happen to you, your cousins in Vancouver would inherit. Do you want to leave it that way?
I don't know. I'm going to have to think about that.
2, don't put it off. Now, this is the second item. It's only approximate because I don't have up-to-date appraisals on the real estate yet, but this is roughly what you can anticipate, give or take a few $1,000s.
I did not know there was this much.
Well, then Myra was keeping a few secrets. She knew. Her records were in apple pie order.
How much of this is the government going to grab?
Not too much, really. The first $250,000 of that is exempt from federal taxes. And the state tax, which starts at $50,000, is only a few percent. Oh, there's one more point, Sydney. I was talking to Maury Eschner at the planning board meeting last night, and he told me that you spoke to him about selling off a few acres.
Oh, well, I don't think I will now.
You can't. Not yet, anyway. You have to wait until the will goes through probate.
Yes, I know. I was just, I was asking him how much he thought I could get for it.
Well, so he was jumping the gun, not you. I just want to make sure you're clear on that point. End of business. You've gotten off cheap.
Well, I'm lucky, I guess.
What's the procedure? You dictate, he types?
No, I do my own typing. Although I will have him retype the final product, and he does the letters.
Is that what he was doing before, letters?
No, a play of his own.
Oh, the seminar, of course.
Yes, he started it yesterday. He'll probably finish it tomorrow.
I hope he's not stealing your ESP idea. Have you discussed it with him?
Why? What makes you say that?
He locked what he was working on into the drawer, unobtrusively, but I noticed. Then again, he might be afraid you're going to steal his idea.
Hardly. Life in a welfare office? The dreams and frustrations of half a dozen people you'd rather not spend an evening with?
He worked in a welfare office?
That's what he was doing.
It might only be a force of habit then. People in large offices often lock their drawers.
Unobtrusively? Just the opposite, I would think. Hey, look, everybody, I'm locking my desk.
It may simply be his way of doing things. I'm sorry if I worried you, the suspicious legal mind. Probably he's exactly what he seems, an honest and helpful young man, completely trustworthy.
Yeah, probably.
Well, I gotta get moving if I'm gonna be in New Haven by noon. I've got a trustees luncheon at the Old Imperial. Have you received a check from the insurance company yet?
No, not yet.
I'll write them a letter first thing in the morning.
Thanks, I would appreciate that.
Will you come have dinner with us?
In a few weeks, I'll be up to facing the world again.
Good enough. Take care.
You too. And give my love to Elizabeth
I will.
and the girls. Damn it. Oh, bastard. Old world craftsman. Jesus Christmas! Oh, you were quick.
I only went to Gibson's.
Oh, here, give me, I'll put away.
Oh, no, it's all right. I don't mind.
No, you shopped, so I'll put away. You get back to that welfare office.
Oh, God forbid. The change is going to be on the desk. Oh, and that, the avocado, it's supposed to be organic. Sydney? Hey, where are you? Sydney? Sydney? Cliff? Oh, Clifford, where are you? Cliff? Hey! Oh, there you are. I didn't think you heard me, so I came round. I need your Olympic fingers. Beer? Now?
Yes, I have a sudden mad craving like in the commercials. I shook it a bit, sorry.
You know you can use an opener on these.
Really?
Doesn't it say so?
Well, who do they expect to read this? Roaches? So you lost interest in thrillers, eh?
Mm-hmm.
No taste for the intricate plotting, the glib, superficial characters.
Yes, yeah.
Want to try something real, something meaningful, socially relevant.
will you cut it out, okay? Your idea, it'll start coming. Just
Probably.
Just relax and please don't try to bug me.
Deathtrap, a thriller in 2 acts. Characters: Julian Crane, Doris Crane, Willard Peterson, Inga Van Bronk. The action takes place in Julian Crane's study, in the Crane home in Westport, Connecticut.
You have one hell of a nerve.
Saying Julian Crane's study is a handsomely converted stable, grafted onto an authentic colonial house. A sliding door upstage center opens onto a foyer in which there are a house's front door, entrances to the living room, the kitchen, stairway, second floor, etc., etc. French doors upstage right open onto a shrubbery-flanked patio. Downstage left is a brick fireplace, practical to the extent that paper can be burned in it. The room's furnishings are tastefully chosen antiques, a few chairs and occasional pieces of buffet. Downstage right with liquor decanters, and the focus of the room, Julian's desk. You remember Julian's desk, don't you? The one he worked at before he let crazy Willard Peterson into his life. Patterned draperies hang at the French doors. The room is decorated with framed theatrical posters unlike these, which are window cards, not posters. And a collection of guns, handcuffs, maces, broadswords, battle axes, and several of which I am about to use any minute.
That's it? You're not going to act out the 11 pages? Would you like me to explain?
What is to explain? You're a lunatic with a death wish. Freud covered it thoroughly.
I have exactly the same wish that you have. A success wish.
This is going to bring you success.
It came to me that night. Do you remember that extra speech that I put in while you were looking for the key? It could make a terrific thriller.
In which someone like me and someone like you causes someone like Myra a fatal heart attack.
Yes, at the end of Act 1.
Oh, what, pray tell, is your definition of success? Being gangbanged in the shower room at the state penitentiary?
I knew you were going to have some reservations about it, which is why my first instinct was to say it wasn't a thriller at all. I haven't enjoyed putting you on, Sydney. I'm glad it's out in the open.
You knew I would have reservations.
Well, you do, don't you?
The house madman is writing a play that is going to land us in prison.
It's not...
I am standing here horrified, petrified, stupefied, cramping my pants. And you say that, oh, he's having reservations. I am not going to use one of these on you. I'm going to beat you to death with Roget's thesaurus.
There's no possible way for anyone to know what did or did not cause Myra's heart attack. If I could change things, I would, but I can't. It has to be a playwright. Who else could pretend to receive a finished work that'll make tons of money?
A composer? A novelist? I don't know, why am I discussing this?
A surefire smash hit symphony? No. And would a novelist or a composer know where to get a garrote that squirts blood or how to stage a convincing murder? And it has to be a playwright who writes thrillers because Arthur Miller probably has some old sample cases hanging up on his wall. I mean, I guess I could make it Wilton and not Westport.
No, why make it anywhere? Why make it?
Because it's there, Sydney.
No, that's mountains, not plays. Plays aren't there until some asshole writes
Just
them.
stop and think for a minute, will you? Think about that night. See it all from an audience's viewpoint. Everything that we did to convince Myra that she was witnessing a real murder, it would have exactly the same effect on them. I mean, weren't we giving a play? Didn't we write it, rehearse it? Wasn't she our audience? Scene 1. Julian tells Doris about this terrific play that's come in the mail. He jokes about killing for it and calls up Willard, inviting him over, getting him to bring over the original. The audience thinks exactly what Doris thinks. Julian might kill Willard. Scene 2, everything that happened from the moment we walked through that door. All the little ups and downs that we put in to make it ring true. The I'm expecting a phone call bit, everything. Tightened up a bit naturally. And the strangling, that scares an audience just as much as it does Doris.
No wonder you didn't need an outline.
It's all up here, Sydney. Every bit of it. Scene 3. Inga Van Bronk. A few laughs, right? It couldn't hurt. Then Julian and Doris get ready to go upstairs. The act seems as if it's going to draw to a so-so close, and then pow! In comes Willard out of the grave seeking vengeance, shock, surprise. Doris has her heart attack. Julian gets up from the fake beating, and the audience realizes that Julian and Willard are in cahoots, that there's no surefire thriller, and that Willard's moving in. The curtain will be Julian burning the manuscript, or on the phone with the doctor. I'm not sure which, but be honest about it. Isn't that a surefire first act?
Yes, and what an intermission, 20 years to life.
There's no way that they can prove that it really happened. They can't. I mean, how can they?
What are you going to say to the guy from the New York Times when he says, hey, don't you work for Sidney Brule, and didn't his wife have a heart attack just around the time you came?
No comment. I know it's going to be a bit sneaky, but everyone's opening up about everything these days, aren't they? In print, on TV. Why not on stage? As long as it can't be proved. I've given it some serious thought, Sydney, and I know that this will help the play tremendously. Give it an added dimension of intriguing gossip.
Yes, I'm sure you're right. I can see the little box in the New York Magazine now. Tongues are wagging about interesting similarities between events in the new play Deathtrap and those of the private lives of its author, Clifford Anderson, and his employer, Sidney Brule, who committed suicide on opening night. When queried, Mr. Anderson said, "No comment." Well, I have a comment. No, absolutely, definitely no. I have a name and a reputation. Tattered perhaps, but good enough for dinner invitations, house seats, and the running of summer seminars. I want to be remembered and live my life as the author of the murder game, not fag who knocked off his wife. Oh look, a fireplace. Let's see if it's practical to be. Don't you dare!
You burn that, and I go out of here and I write it somewhere else. I'll get a house sitting job. Give it to me, Sydney. Give it to me. I helped you kill for the chance to become what I wanted to be. You are not taking that from me. I had hoped that when I showed you this finished draft that you would set aside your Angel Street uptightness and pitch in, but well, we can forget about that.
A collaboration?
It's your idea, isn't it? I'm not pretending it's all my baby. And I know that scene 1 is coming out heavy and stilted, but I thought we could be a team. Brule and Anderson.
Rogers and Harkness.
No, see, I could never come up with something like that.
I'm sorry, but I am not interested in collaborating on my own public humiliation.
Next season's hit. Don't say I didn't ask. And anyway, I better be moving out.
Why?
When Helga Tendorf said that a woman was going to use the dagger because of a play, maybe she wasn't that far off target.
Don't be silly. I love you. I wouldn't do anything to harm you. Besides, you'd break my neck.
You're damn right I would.
So, let's not talk about leaving.
I don't know. I'm not going to be comfortable with you not being happy about this.
Well, I'll whistle a lot. I don't know, maybe I am being old-fashioned and uptight.
You are. I mean, geez, who cares about anything these days?
I certainly could use half the royalties of a good, solid hit.
I think that there's a movie in it, too.
Porter showed me the figures on Myra's estate. It's less than I thought. $23,000, half of which goes to taxes. And, I mean, there's the land and the house, of course, but I can't sell any acres until the will goes through probate, and he says that's going to be 2 or 3 years. And the insurance money isn't all that much.
The offer is still open.
You know, I really did think that play in the mail thing would be a good first scene, really.
It's your idea, Sidney. All I did was help with the details. Pretty neat the way you managed it.
Oh, I tried to break in, the damn thing's a fortress. Porter saw you locking it up. I thought maybe you were doing something on ESP.
Here I thought I was being so inconspicuous.
But he's sharp. He's dull, but he's sharp. Oh, what the hell! I will blush all the way to the bank.
You mean it?
Yes, Brule and Anderson.
Oh my God. We'll make it Wilton and not Westport.
No, leave it Westport, to hell with it.
Oh my God. Just think, me, Clifford Anderson, collaborating with Sidney Brule.
You know, that's in the first act.
Yes. Act 2 is going to be a problem.
How so?
Well, Act 1 we have the murder. 2, in effect. Act 2 is liable to be a letdown.
No, not necessarily.
We could bring in a detective, a fifth character. I was thinking a Connecticut version of the one from Dial M.
Inspector Hubbard.
Yes, and, well, Inga Van Bronk ought to come back in. A good comic character like that, it would be, well, foolish not to make the most of her.
You go on drafting Act 1. Let me do a little thinking about Act 2.
Come in. Mr. Brule isn't here right now.
Oh, I come to phone this last talk.
He should be back any minute now.
Oh, you are?
His secretary, Clifford Anderson.
I am Helga Tindorf. I am psychic.
Oh, yes. Mr. Brule has told me a lot about you. I understand that you predicted his wife's death.
Oh, yes. That's so sad. Such pain and tears. Such a nice lady. Ew. This room. He is well, Mr. Brule.
Oh, yes. He went out to dinner for the first time since, well, he said that he would be back by 10, and I believe it's 1:15 now.
Yeah, there will be wind and rain, thunder and lightning. Trees will fall.
Are you sure?
Yeah, was on radio. I come to borrow candles. I have none in the house. You have?
I don't know, but, well, I'm sure that we do. I'll go and look. Why don't you have a seat?
Ah, thank you. You wear boots.
Many people do these days. They're quite comfortable.
Oh, you are a secretary to Mr. Brule for a long time?
Oh, no. I came here about 3 weeks ago, after Mrs. Brule died. Why don't I go and look for those candles?
What a bore that was.
Oh, Mr. Rule, hello. Mrs. Tendorf is here.
Oh. Hello.
Good evening, Mr. Brule.
How are you?
Well,
Did you get my note?
yeah, thank you.
Yours was very kind and left the flowers.
Do we have any candles? There's a storm blowing up, and Mrs. Tendorf would like to borrow some.
Oh, yes, of course. I think Myra kept them above the refrigerator. If not there, then on that shelf on the landing, in a gray cardboard box. I saw you on the Griffin show. It wasn't a very good night, was it? What's the matter?
This is the man I warned you about, man in boots who attacks you.
Oh my God, what with the turmoil of Myra's death, I completely forgot about that morning.
Is he? Candles are not my icon. Has many candles. Tonight I feel danger. Here again. Oh, and in this room, especially strong. You must get him out of here.
Yeah, do you know that just tonight I decided to dismiss him? I was discussing it with my lawyer. I started to feel uneasy about him last week, and so I asked my lawyer to
Smith Corona. Is his?
Yes.
But naturally, Corona, not Colonna. This is why I see on black man's face, QWERTY UIOB. You must send him away.
Yes, I will. I'm going to tonight. I want to give him his notice at any rate, and I won't hesitate now that you've come to warn me about him. Are you sure that you saw him attacking me?
False image like TV.
Come in, Clifford.
Thank you. I take 2.
Oh, you're welcome to take more than that.
No, 2 is enough.
It's really blowing up out there.
Yeah. Sometimes they are right in their predictions. I should stay.
No, it's all right. I hope you can beat the rain.
Oh, I come through woods is less to walk.
Oh, well, it's pitch black out there. Are you sure you can see the way?
Yeah, I have torch. Good night.
Good night.